I know I wrote a book, right? It's called Buy a Game and it's free. Click the link down there, you got it.
DreAllDay.com.
What's going on, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Today I want to address a common question I've gotten many times over the years. I realized I didn't have a video on the topic. I have written on the topic, but I'm making a video on this topic, and it's this situation. And I know there's players out there who are, maybe you found this video because you're looking for this. You played basketball maybe in high school, maybe you also played in college, whatever your situation was, but there's been a gap. There's been a gap between when you were at least up to this point in your life, at your peak as a player, whether that was in high school, it was in college, maybe you had some college scholarship offers, maybe you played in college and you did your thing, but there's been a gap. Maybe you got married, maybe you had kids, maybe you went into the military, maybe you just need to make some money to take care of your family or take care of yourself, so you kind of put basketball to the side so you could focus on those life things, that life situation that you had in front of you, whether it was something that you wanted or something that you did not want, something that was completely unexpected. Whatever the reason, where you are right now today is you're thinking about getting back into basketball, or at least giving it a shot again, or giving it another shot, or just trying to figure out what your options are, what you can do to see if it's even possible for you to make something of basketball while you still had an opportunity. Maybe you're 27, maybe you're 25, maybe you're 31, and you just want to see what you can do. You don't want to die knowing that you never gave it a shot. So I'm going to tell you exactly what you need. All those players who are in this situation. So maybe you got out of college 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You haven't played at a high level competitively since then, except maybe some recreational stuff, and you're thinking about giving it a go. What you need to know. That's what I'm going to tell you right here in this video. Here's the number one thing that you need to know. And this is the most important thing, all the players in this boat, the most important thing you need to know is that what you did in high school or what you did in college or 5 years ago or 3 years ago or 10 years ago does not matter. I'm going to say that one more time because this is the most important point for those players. What you did in high school or in college, however long ago it was, before that gap where you really weren't in basketball, you weren't really, your name wasn't on the circuit, wherever it might have been at that point, when you were at your peak or whatever stats you put up or whatever, it don't matter anymore. Because when I get emails from people who are asking me these questions that led me to making this video, often they open it by telling me all their story of glory from back in the time when they were playing. Like, I had all these D1 offers, or I averaged this many points, or I went to this school and then I transferred to that school, basically building up their credibility when they're talking to me, telling me how good they used to be. I don't really need to know that. First of all, it doesn't matter. It has no bearing on how I'm going to answer your question. And second of all, it doesn't matter to anybody. What you did back then does not matter for right now if you're trying to get into basketball. Unless you can still do that same thing right now. And if you can, then I'm going to tell you what to do with that too. But what you did back then doesn't matter. So leave that out of the story. People don't really need to know it because nobody's going to really give a damn about your basketball background until they know you can play right now. And all you've been to the gyms, right? You've been to a park before where you didn't know anybody, but you started playing and you were doing your thing. And what happens after the game or after a couple games? People come up to you like, yo, where you play at? What school did you go to? You know, who taught you? Or where you usually go? Where you usually work out? People want to start to know things about you, but not just because you walked in the gym. They want to know things about you after they see that you can play. Right? This is how it works, right? All of us know this. So first of all, you got to prove that you can play before what you did in the past, anybody even gives a damn. Because I would go to a court where nobody knew me. They see me, they say, okay, here's some guy playing basketball, but they didn't come up to me asking me questions. Why? I hadn't proved that I can play. So I'm just some dude at that point. But after I play and they see I can play, then they come up to me like, yo, did you go to high school around here? Where'd you play in college? You ever try to play pro? You ever try out for the NBA? People start asking those questions after they know you can play. So the first thing is what you used to do doesn't matter. Here's the second thing. For those players who have had this gap between when you were serious about hooping and now when you want to get serious again, you got to get in shape. You got to get in shape. And when I say in shape, let me explain what in shape means. Because people throw around this phrase, get in shape, but it means completely different things to different people. In shape means you are ready to get on a full-size regulation basketball court and play 40 minutes. We'll just say 40 minutes. Could be 48. 40 minutes of basketball. Full court basketball, 5-on-5. You need to be in game shape. Game shape. Okay, so not in shape meaning like your abs look good or you got some nice muscles or you was playing with your friends from the rec at LA Fitness and you was busting their ass. Listen, they're bums. That has nothing to do with that. You need to be in game shape, meaning you could jump into a practice for whatever team or league or level you're trying to play at right now And nobody can tell that you haven't been playing ball competitively. You need to be in the type of shape like you've been playing. Now, let me explain something to you. Let me give a caveat to that. You're not going to get there by playing pickup at the local court. You're not going to get there by playing at the LA Fitness League or the YMCA or the JCC or whatever shit you be playing in the summertime or off season, and you already know that. All right, so I'm not saying there's something wrong with the league or that the players aren't good, because who knows? Every league is different. But what I'm saying is you're not going to get in game shape playing somewhere where you don't have to be in game shape to compete. So either A, you got to go play somewhere where you have to be in game shape to compete. That means like a local pro-am, like a high-level pro-am where they got real players, real coaches, and you really got to bring your game. If that doesn't exist around you, you need to get in shape on your own. And you know what conditioning is for basketball, do you not? Okay, you played in high school, you played in college, you know what it means to be in shape, you know what it means to get conditioned, you know what a suicide is, you know the 17s, you know the drills the coaches made you do that nobody would ever do on their own. You got to do it on your own now, because right now you don't have a coach unless you're going to hire a trainer. I mean, if you're going to hire a trainer, make sure they do it. But if you're on your own right now, you got to put yourself in the gym and you got to do that conditioning that the coaches used to make you do. You already know what it is. Go do it. If you need help with it, go to hoophandbook.com. We got the conditioning program and the ultimate athlete and position of power. Those will help you out. Those will help you help yourself. But you got to do this work. I'm not going to do the suicides for you. I ain't running no suicide. You can run them. And if you want to get back in shape, you must do it. That's the number 2 thing. So get in shape. Number 3 thing. You need to do everything that a brand new player was doing. So meaning when I say brand new, I mean a player who's brand new to wanting to play pro basketball. You understand what I'm saying? You got to do the same thing that they do. Number 1, you got to have some game. Because again, your game from back in the day don't matter if you can't do it anymore. What matters is your game today. Number 1, you got to have some game. Number 2, you got to make sure you have proof of your game. Meaning get it on video and or show your game in front of somebody who can do something for your career. Not just in front of some clowns who could go talk about you on the corner or make a YouTube video about you. Somebody who can actually do something for your career. Not just watch you and talk about you, but do something. You understand the difference? Number 3 thing you need to do, and this is for the brand new player, this is applying to you now, player who's trying to come back in the game. Number 3 thing you got to do is network. Get people to know your name. Get people to know who you are, know your game, know what you do. And those people who you get to know you, again, they can't just be no regular random people. Because even though that's great to have that respect from the fans of those people, what you really need is somebody who can do something for you to know your name. You need those people to know your name. So get out and network so people know who the hell you are and they know you can play. Number 4, you got to take full responsibility for everything. And you already noticed, you had a gap. There was something you did. You went to the military, you had a family, you had to get a job, you had to take full responsibility. You already know what it feels like to take full responsibility. You gotta do the exact same thing in basketball. That's what I would tell a brand new player, and it's also what I'm telling you. So to recap, 3 things you need if you are trying to get back in the game because you had some time away for whatever reason. Number 1, what you did in the past before you took that gap don't matter anymore. Nobody cares, for the most part. I'm just telling you the truth. Number 2, you gotta get in shape. Don't show up 30 pounds overweight from when you were at your peak talking about what you used to do 5 years ago. Don't nobody want to hear that. You don't even want to hear it. Show up like the player you were if you can get back to that level. If you can't, the best that you can possibly get in, but you got to get in shape. Now, if you talking about getting back into basketball, that means you already know what it means to get in shape. I can't emphasize this enough. Don't act stupid. You know what it means to get in shape. Do it. And number 3, you got to do the same thing a brand new player would do. Work on your game so that you don't show up looking like somebody who don't belong in the gym. Number 2, get some footage of your game. You got to have proof that you can play. Number 3, make sure some people who can do something for your career know who you are and know you can play. And number 4, you take full responsibility. This is all on you, whether it works or it doesn't work. It's going to be your fault or your responsibility either way. Any questions, comments, concerns, leave it down there in the comments. You already know how to reach me. My website's drealldday.com. Companies Work on Your Game. I got a podcast called Work on Your Game. You didn't know about it, subscribe to it. You need it. I don't care what you do for a living. What I share in this podcast, everybody needs it. Work on your game. drealldday.com.